So hi, we've been getting a lot of questions about the coronavirus, like what can I do to either not be so anxious about it, or is there anything I can do to help my immune system? What do you suggest? So I put together an answer for one of these folks and actually sent it to a lot of folks. But let me tell you, well, first of all, here's the question. This particular question is, can you recommend any guided imagery or affirmations that would help calm my nerves about the coronavirus? Okay, we've had other questions that said that would help upregulate my immune system and be less at the effect of the virus. So here's what I answered. We do have something specifically for immune system support, and it's appropriately named Guided Imagery to Support a Healthy Immune System. And it's linked below. You can hear a sample if you like. But that's very specifically for helping envision and support what your body does naturally, which is identify bugs, bacteria, viruses, and take them out with various lymphocytes and other kinds of immune cells. So it's very cellular imagery, and it does upregulate your immune system for at least a half hour to an hour after you've done the practice. There are other studies that show it lasts even longer. I'm not sure, so I will say it will upregulate your immune system anywhere from a half hour to possibly days or weeks. Okay, so another guided imagery audio that we have that would make for a good backup and for a substitute for this one so you don't get tired of it is our general wellness imagery. And it's more metaphoric than cellular, but it also speaks to the same thing, keeping your immune system strong and healthy and supporting that. So those are the two, and that one is listed below too. So make no mistake, there are classic studies that show that envisioning your cells functioning in this way actually supports and increases what they do. There are two studies that I can think of. One of the studies was by, it was actually a review of 3 studies by Bruselier in London at the Imperial College of Science, Technology and Medicine. And he found that immune system imagery buffered the effects of stress on the immune function, especially in medical students right before exam time, and they got fewer winter viral infections. There was another group of students that got fewer recurrences of herpes when they did this guided imagery. So that's one classic study from the early 2000s. There's another study that came along later. It's a review by a guy named Trachtenberg from Stanford University. And he found that guided imagery also both reduces stress and upregulates immune function. So for instance, cell-specific imagery, when you imagine it happening in your body, corresponds with white blood cells, with neutrophils, and with lymphocytes in the body. So you imagine those cells operating, they operate better. It increases, and you can see it in the blood work. Okay, enough of that. I hope I've made my case. Guided imagery really does help upregulate the immune system. If it only lasts for an hour, do it every hour and a half, and just keep it going. I'd also like to suggest a couple of other things that also will help with your anxiety, because I'm assuming that part of what helps with anxiety is just feeling proactive, not just at the helpless effect of forces around you that are too big to control. So if there are things we can do, like the guided imagery, that's going to help with anxiety. Another thing that I highly recommend, this is from very good friends of mine, they're actually famous and highly regarded physicians, but I'm not going to use their names because they didn't tell me it was okay it was okay to use their names to promote a product. I imagine they wouldn't like that, but I don't care. So what they recommend to me for relatives who are sick and for various issues is two things. Astragalus, which is a supplement, especially if you take it in drops under your tongue, is very good for supporting immune function. The other thing, don't get me wrong, loosely referred to as magic mushrooms, are a collection of certain kinds of mushrooms that are being found to have tremendous immune system value. And I'm going to give you a specific kind to get because I know they're good, because these two famous docs recommend them all the time on the QT. I have no financial interest in this company, just so you know. But I'm talking about something called My Community Host Defense Capsules. They're advanced immune support. So there's a lot of recent data that shows that certain combinations of mushrooms are very supportive of healthy immune functioning. And in fact, I just ordered bottles of these for all of my kids and grandkids, shipped them off this morning. I also think it's really good to do the hardcore hand washing thing. 20 seconds singing a song, doing your digits. If you can still get wipes that are antibacterial, great. But wash your hands a lot. I think it's virtually impossible for most people to not touch their faces. So I don't know if that's even aspirational. So better to just keep your hands clean than try to not touch your face. I don't know if that's good advice or not. It just seems common sense to me. Anyway, what else did I say? Oh, yes. Carry around that antiseptic goop too if you can't wash your hands. And as far as anxiety goes, okay, so be proactive. Do everything you can to feel like you're in charge of something about this. It will help you with your anxiety. And finally, here's another thing you can do if you're anxious. Whenever it crosses your mind, wish yourself and your loved ones well. In your heart, in your head, wherever. Or just the people around you, random people around you. Just wish them all well. We may be into for some fairly strange times, but we can take our own personal public health measures to both restrain and contain our anxiety, to do what we can to stay well and strong, and to just use common sense. So, wishing you all well. And please add some comments, thoughts, random ideas, good suggestions, bad suggestions. Just add it all underneath. We're eager to hear from you.